Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book, the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. I left you alive that day. I felt these shelters. Now I come back to find you fallen, captain of armies. So grief gives way to grief. My life, one endless sorrow. The husband to whom my father and noble mother gave me. I saw him torn by the sharp bronze before our city. And my 3 brothers, a single mother bore us, my brother, how I loved you. You all went down to death on the same day. But you, Patroclus, you would not let me weep, not when the swift Achilles cut my husband's down, not when they plundered the lofty Mynes city. Not even weep. No, again, you vowed you'd make me godlike Achilles' lawful, wedded wife. You would sail me west in your warships, home to Phthia, and there with male maidens hold my marriage feast. So now I mourn your death. I will never stop. You were always kind. Her voice ran out in tears, and the women wailed in answer, grief for Patroclus, calling forth each woman's private sorrows. But Achaeus' warlords clustered around Achilles, begging him to eat. He only spurned them, groaning, I beg you, if any comrade will hear me out in this, stop pressing me now to glut myself with food and drink. Now such painful grief has come and struck my heart. I'd hold out till the sun goes down, enduring, fasting, despite your appeals. His voice so firm that Achilles caused the other kings to scatter. But the 2 Atrides stayed, the good Odysseus, Nestor, Idomeneus, Phoenix, the old charioteer, all trying to comfort Achilles deep in sorrow. But no comfort could reach the fighter's heart, till he went straddling into the jaws of bloody war. The memories swept over him. Sighs sheaved from his depth as Achilles burst forth. Ah, God, time and again, my doomed, my dearest friend, you would set before us a seasoned meal yourself, here in our tents, in your quick and expert way, when Aegean forced rushed to fight the Trojans, stampeding those breakers of horse into rout. But now you lie before me, back to peace there, while the heart within me fasts from food and drink. Those stores inside are full. I'm sick with the longing for you. There's no more shattering blow that I could suffer, not even if I should learn of my own father's death, who, this moment, is weeping warm tears in Phthia. I know it. Barefoot of son as loved as this, and here I'm in the distant land, fighting Trojans, and all for that blood-chilling honor. Helen, or the death of my dear son, reared for me in Scyros. If Prince Neoptolemus is still among the living, till now I'd hoped with all my heart that I alone would die, far from the standing land of Argos, here in Troy. But you, Patroclus, would journey back to Phthia, and then you'd ferry Neoptolemus home from Scyros, fast in your black ship, and show him all my wealth, my serving man, my great house with the high vaulting roof. For father, I fear, if he's not dead and buried yet, just clean, perhaps to his last breath of life, ground down now by the hateful siege of years, waiting day after day for painful news from me, until he learns his only son is dead. His voice ran out in tears, and the warlords moaned in answer, each remembering those he had left behind at home. Seeing their grief, the father, filled with pity, quickly turned to Athena with winged words. My child, have you abandoned him forever? Your favorite man of war, is it all lost now? No more care for Achilles left inside your heart? There he huddled before his curving, beaked ships, racked with grief for his dear friend, while others scattered, settling down to their meal. His fasting never fed. Go run and instill some nectar and sweet ambrosia deep within his chest. Starve off his hunger now. So he urged, Athena already poised for action. Down the sky she swooped through the clear bright air like a shrieking sharp-winged hawk, and while Achilles quickly armed throughout the encampment, she instilled some nectar and sweet ambrosia deep in Achilles' chest. So the stabbing pangs of hunger could not sap his knees. Then back to her mighty father's sturdy house she went as troops moved out, pouring out of the fast trim ships, thick and fast as the snow comes swirling down from Zeus, frozen sharp when the north wind born in heaven blasts on. So massed, so dense, the glistening, burnished helmets shone, streaming out of the ships, and the shields with jutting bosses, breastplates welded front and back, and the long ashen spears. The glory of armor lit the skies, and the whole earth laughed, rippling under the glittering of bronze. Thunder resounding under trampling feet of armies, and in their midst the brilliant Achilles began to arm for battle. A sound of grinding came from the fighter's teeth. His eyes blazed both in searing points of fire. Unbearable grief came surging through his heart. And now, bursting with rage against the men of Troy, he domed Hephaestus' gifts, magnificent armor, the god of fire, forged with all his labor. First, he wrapped his leg with well-made greaves, fastened behind his heels with silver ankle clasps. Next, he strapped the breastplate around his chest. Then, over his shoulder, Achilles slung his sword, the fine bronze blade with silver-studded hilt. Then hoisted the massive shield, flashing far and wide like a full round moon, and gleaming bright as the light that reaches the sailors out at sea, the flare of a watchfire, burning strong in the lonely sheepfold up from mountain slope, when the gale wind hurled the screw that fights against them, far over the fish-swirling sea, far from loved ones. So the gleam from Achilles' well-wrought, blazoned shield shot up and hid the skies. Then lifting its rugged helmet, he set it down on his brows, and the horsehair crest shone like a star, and the waving golden plumes shook, that Hephaestus drove in bursting thick along its ridge. And the brilliant Achilles tested himself in all his gear. Achilles spun on his heels to see if it fitted lightly. See if the shining limbs can free within it. Yes, and it felt like buoyant wind lifting the great captain. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.